Hi and welcome to Silver Soul Tarot. Today we are going to do a love reading, so let's just get to it, shall we? So the first deck we will take is the Crimson Kiss Oracle, followed by the Romance and Love, and we will use the Sugar and Spice Tarot to eke out the message. So let's crack on, shall we? So first of all, if you are new here, welcome. My name is Jo. If you are a returning viewer, great to see you again. If you are a subscriber, much love to you. I appreciate every single one of you, and I'm going to take that card. So we've got Teddy Bear, a loving, warm person who likes to cuddle and hold hands. That's interesting because I have just done another reading. I might put these both up on the same day, and the energy was literally quite the opposite. Okay, so Romance and Love. Interesting because this card came out in the last deck and I have shuffled these in between. So last deck in the last reading, keep the sparks flying, surprise each other with gestures of love. I am going to take another one just because I feel like it, and then we'll hit the tarot. Settling. Avoid settling for less than you deserve in love. Yes, you want to be with someone who is warm and loving, someone who wants to hold your hands, someone who wants to, you know, stroke your hair at night and give you little kisses, and who is invested into keeping the spark alive and not just getting stuck in a routine and, you know, letting things go a bit stale and stagnant. Keeping things fresh. Okay, so let's move on to the tarot. We've got the Tower. So someone might be having a little bit of a Tower moment, or you've had a Tower moment relatively recently around a connection. Maybe you're thinking about leaving a connection you're currently in because you've been settling and the sparks are no longer there, no matter how hard you try. Just know that the universe is willing to give you what you want, okay? Or maybe you're just realising that that is what you've got. I don't know. Take it as it resonates. Towers are transformative in, you know, energy, and they're never necessarily a bad thing, and they don't have to be overly shocking, you know, overly tremendous. You got the Star. Okay, this came out last reading as well. I'm going to put these both up on the same day. Clearly, there's two messages here, but for two very different people. We've got the Star, which is very healing energy. Okay, so there's something, maybe you've just come out of a relationship where you felt like you were settling. Take it as it resonates. Take it as it relates to your story. Please pop a comment below if you feel open enough to talk about it. We've got the Justice. So yeah, the scales are balancing. You've got some very karmic cards coming out, and they are also so far all major arcana. Now the scales are balancing, so maybe you were in a very stale relationship, someone maybe who just wasn't quite, almost but not quite, you know, and you've decided that you're gonna move on and have something that you deserve. And like I say, the universe will give you what you are requiring. The Queen of Swords. Okay, boundaries. Maybe you've been setting boundaries. Maybe that was one of the things over here that you were setting, you know, that you were settling was with some of your boundaries. You weren't very strong with them. You weren't very grounded with them, and you kind of let people push them boundaries slightly, or someone push those boundaries slightly. Oop. You've got the Five of Pentacles. So maybe part of this was that you just didn't feel very warm, you know, being left out in the cold. There was just not someone that was very accommodating to your needs and your requirements. I think you've probably left them behind, or you're going to leave them behind pretty soon, and find yourself a big teddy bear. A big teddy bear who's going to give you loads of cuddles and warm loving. The Queen of Wands. So yeah, stay true to your boundaries and your clarity. You know what it is that you want, how you want to move yourself forward. Be open and honest and truthful, but also be confident and purposeful. You know, don't just set boundaries because you can. It's got to have a purpose and a point to it. You know, you don't want to end up blocking things because of something that happened before. You got the Judgment card next. The Judgment hasn't come out for a little while for me, so interesting because it kept coming out in this deck and now it started again. So Judgment, yeah, you are being called to action. Maybe it is to really leave this old energy behind and step into something new. As underneath is the Empress, so that is birthing a new cycle, starting something new, this abundant, beautiful new future, very fertile energy. So there could be some family is something that you want, children and family is something you want. It could be something that's going to be coming in with this new person that you are calling in by moving away from what it is that you don't want. Okay, so you've got the Eight of Wands. There's quite a few repeating cards. We've got a couple of cards that came out in the last video, and you've been seeing me shuffling. So it's clearly a message today that needs to come out. But there is definitely some communication coming in. Okay, someone could be shooting their shot. This could be you and the person you're settling for finally having that discussion of like, do you, is this what we think it is? Because it doesn't feel like it. It feels very stale. It could be that you need to re-spark a current relationship. Okay, just because you're leaving behind the old relationship doesn't mean you have to necessarily leave behind the old person. So like I say, just take this and let me know below how it resonates. But definitely there's this newness that is being needed. There's a communication that's definitely needed, some sort of healing, some sort of change. We do have the Ace of Swords on the bottom, so some sort of truth, clarity, knowledge, a new way of thinking. If this is a current relationship, it's always, I think, worth one last try, especially if this is, this is where it is. But obviously you have to, this is where this card comes in specifically. You both have to want to work for it, towards it, and keep the sparks flying. It's very easy just to do it and then, 2 months later you're back where you started. Do you know what I mean? The Seven of Wands, stand your ground. Yep, stand your ground. Keep those boundaries, set them, keep them. I don't want to say be flexible with every boundary, but there's going to be some, there's going to have to be a little bit of, what's the word I'm looking for? It will come to me. I want to say compensation, but that is not the right word. The Ace of Cups, a new beginning, a new romantic beginning. It could be, like I say, within the relationship you're already in or someone new. But yeah, definitely hold those boundaries. Give where you need to give. There can be a little bit of leeway, but don't sort of let it slide too much. As soon as you notice that it's kind of going backwards, that's when you need to speak up, and that's when you need to do something. Come on, let's go out, let's do something. Come on, let's, go away for the weekend. Let's go and have a coffee, and whatever it is you can do to keep those sparks alive, if this is a relationship you're willing to keep going through. However, if you're going to be walking away, there's definitely this cup of love that is wanting to be offered to you. You could be the warm, loving person who just needs to find your other warm, loving person, your Emperor. Take it, it's just energy only, but we do have the divine counterparts on the table. So it could be you loving on yourself a little bit, especially working on yourself if you are leaving someone behind. Always fill your own cup so that you can pour from a full cup and not an empty cup. But the Emperor is about making power moves and pushing forward. So maybe you have to take some of this into your own hands in order to push through this. And you've got the Six of Cups. Now the Six of Cups is about equal giving and receiving with balance. It is the humanitarian card, so it's giving more maybe than what you are receiving. Be a little bit careful with that, but maybe you have to just be the the guiding force, the leading force. Got the Chariot on the bottom, so it could be something coming in. Or definitely this energy is on the move. This newness coming in. Maybe you've just had enough of settling. I'm going to leave it with you. Say thank you very much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye.